What is up, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Tuesdays with Turbo and a really loud exhaust. So this is going to be kind of a weird video. It's not anything cool, it's not anything exciting, but I did want to start out with thoughts and prayers to everyone that was affected by the tornadoes this last weekend and is continuing to be affected by those. Um, which is kind of where this video is going to kind of take shape, is because we're going to be talking about um, what happens if you do have a claim situation in an after hours, whether it's after 5 on the weekends. What do you do as one of our clients? Or if you're not one of our clients, where should you find this information? Because it's something that everyone needs and everyone needs to keep handy. And I'm going to give you a little tip and trick here, if you are one of our clients, to how to keep this information very, very close. And we're also going to talk about I want to give you some tips on, after something happens, especially catastrophic like this, what to look for, what to avoid, and how to make your claims experience as seamless as possible. So with that being said, let's get into it. And if you do not know me, my name is Ryan Turbo Jackson, and I am your insurance resource. Yeah, this is we're not going to be talking about policy language. We're not going to be talking about different types of policies. We're going to be talking about more of a procedure, okay? And with the storm on Friday, it did happen after hours. Now, you see a lot of companies on, whether it's on TV or, online, saying 24 hours claim service. Every single insurance company has 24-hour claim service. It's just how do you get it? How do you access it, and what does that experience look like? So for our clients, I put together a list here. These are our after hours numbers, whether it's auto owners, Fremont, Progressive, Foremost, Wolverine, Pioneer, we got you covered. And if you can't get through to our Marcellus office, even though that says Abbott and Powers office, it should say Newell agency offices. There's our location indicator: Bangor, Pawpaw, and Marcellus. So go ahead and screenshot this if you want. And if it is after hours, call, if you have your home and auto with auto owners, call that 800 number up, and they have staff 24-hour claim service there. That's not to say that us here at the office are going to be here 24 hours a day, but this gives us the option to get everything filed, get everything in motion as soon as possible, as quick as possible, since we are a smaller agency. One of the other agencies I worked at paid for an after-hour service, and this is basically the same thing, because auto owners or whatever company that we have you with is going to work with us to help you get your claim satisfied. And the earlier you get it filed, the pretty much you're next in queue. So it's advantageous to get your claim in early because you'll be taken care of quicker. So that is the main takeaway here. And I did post that photo on my personal page, as well as the Abbott and Powers page. So if you go over there, and you can just screenshot it, do whatever you need to make sure you have this handy, because it at one point, at some point in time, this is going to be a very, very amazing resource to have, and you want to have it on your phone. So, and we've got, we could have another run of them coming tonight. So let's get this those after hours numbers saved in our phones, and to kind of help facilitate everyone, and as well as just to make everything so much easier. And yes, if you call the 800 numbers for the companies, they do let us know what's going on and kind of keep us in the loop. At least they try to, so that you're not having to tell the same story over and over and over and over again. So with that being said, that's kind of what happens if something happens after hours. Now we're folks in Three Rivers and over in that area are going through a cleanup now. And what you're going to see if you are in these areas is a lot of what we call storm chasers. And these aren't the storm chasers that you're thinking of. They're not the ones that are chasing down the storm to report on the storm. These are the traveling siding guys and gals, roofers, people that are going to come up to you and tell you, hey, I'm pretty sure I can get you a new roof. If you can pay for your deductible, we will get you a new roof. And in actuality, you don't really need a new roof. The people that were affected really need this, and they're the ones that should be, getting this service. And we talked about it, probably a few months ago when I was reading off the gentleman's business card saying he was an insurance specialist or a claims specialist, and they're not inspectors, they're not adjusters. These are salespeople wanting to sell you a service, and they're using the fact that you have insurance to benefit themselves. So if you are affected and your home is in need of repair, use someone locally. Use someone you know and trust. Not these fly-by-night people that are that say they're from Michigan, but in actuality, the people working for them are from Missouri or wherever. They're not local. And then even if you do go with a company like this and you need, if your shingles fail and you need to make good on that warranty that they gave you, they're already off to the next state doing the same thing to other people. So you're paying for a service that really isn't what you expect. Whereas if you did go with someone local, you would get that, hands-on. If there was a warranty situation, they would be able to remedy it very, very easily. So be careful. Be careful. It sucks to even have to kind of make this video this part of the video, because everyone should be entitled to do what they do for a living if it's legal. And what these folks are doing is legal. It's just very misunderstood or misrepresented. And they're taking advantage of a system where this is just what we live in. And with companies like this is how it generates the whole insurance is a scam. Don't pay for this, don't pay for that. Insurance is a scam. So red flag if someone comes up to you and say, hey, I was just driving around and noticed that looks like, after this past storm, your roof could use an update. Like, you know what, thank you, but no thank you. And if you really want to pursue that, then call someone local. And if it is from the storm, by all means, let's get a claim started. But I'm not going to say 9 times out of 10, but a very good percentage of these storm chasers are just going to try to sell you a roof, and knowing full well that you do have insurance, and they're just going to throw it on and leave. And how good is the work? Who knows? Because they're done and gone. They're done and gone. So that's, this really wasn't meant to be a long video. It wasn't meant to be, it's just something I needed to get out there, even though, in reaction to what happened and what could happen tonight. So I'm gonna throw these numbers up here again. Like I said, if you prefer, I did post this on not only my personal page, but the Abbott and Powers page. So get on there, screenshot it. The post says to click the three dots in the top right-hand corner, and you can actually save it, or however you want to do it. Write it down and then just put it in your phone as, Fremont After Hours, if we have your home and auto with Fremont. And one more thing that I did want to touch on before we get out of here is we had a couple instances where a home and the auto were both damaged during the storm. So what deductible pays what? Well, the good part is if you have your home and auto insurance with the same company, you're only going to pay one deductible. And 9 times out of 10, it will be the home deductible, because there's going to be more damage on your home, and it's usually the higher of the two, so you're going to pay the higher of the two, but you're only going to have to pay once. So another benefit to having both your home, auto, and everything else with one company. Not only is it easier, it's less expensive, but, and I say this all the time to people, and it's like, well, If you happen to have a claim on your home and auto because of the same occurrence, and they're all like, how often does that happen? Well, right here. When your car's parked at your house and there's damage to your house, even the debris from your house, excuse me, can damage your vehicle. So it happens more than you think. Excuse me. It happens more often than you think. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I will get you out of here on this. Let's make sure we are prepared for what's coming tonight. Make sure you know, gas for your generators, all that good stuff. Everything's charged, batteries, you know, lamps, whatever you got to get out. Let's all stay safe. And like I said, if you do need those numbers, they are available. You know, rewind the video, go to my page, go to Abbott and Power's page, and they're there. Everyone have a great week, and I will see you again next time.